Welcome to the Mizell Show.
An inspiration for a new generation.
Hi, I'm Alanna Mizell, a loving mother of two, a devoted wife to Stephen, and an entrepreneur helping women realize their dreams and potential.
And I'm Stephen Mizell, caring father of two, a devoted husband to Alanna, and a driving force to help young men prepare for life after college football.
And if that wasn't enough, we're a biracial couple.
She was raised in the North, but I was raised in the South.
The only thing normal about our lives, who am I kidding? It's never normal around here. Join us for the Mizell Show.
Right now. All right, we are here.
We are
present
here.
And accounted for.
You took my saying.
What's that supposed to mean?
I say present and accounted for.
Well, we're present and accounted for on the
Present and
Mizell
accounted
Show.
for.
Back at it again. I know you've missed us.
Yeah.
But here. Yeah, we are here. We are present.
We are functioning.
And Alanna,
sort
what are
of.
you reading?
Okay, so what's interesting is...
We dived right into Alanna's books.
Yes, but what's interesting is I really...
Haven't been reading.
I haven't been reading a ton. Like, my brain needed a pause. It just needed a...
Yeah.
There's just so much in that thing up there. Mm-hmm. So, right at this very moment, and by the time, our next podcast episode comes out, I will have finished Just for the Summer, which is the third in a series of Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez.
Yes.
I think that's how you say her last name. I really like her.
Jimenez?
I really like her.
She's pretty good. You've read her before.
We were able to snag, I'm still working on No Bad Parts.
Yeah.
It's just so heavy.
Yes.
The content is so thick. So it's a therapy wellness book, and it talks about the parts of you. So little Alanna at different ages and kind of going and meeting yourself there mentally.
Yeah.
And living back through those memories and understanding, okay, that was little Alanna at the kickball field. That was a little Alanna in the lunchroom. That was little Alanna XYZ. And okay,
so you're saying how you process your feelings now, you're thinking back to little Alanna when she felt those feelings.
Correct. And essentially, it's how to give forgiveness to yourself back then.
Ooh, yeah.
So it's it's like a work book. Not like a work I'm going to sit down and write in it workbook, but it's I got to work through this book. So it's going to take me a long time. It is fabulous. It is a fabulous and beautiful book. Yeah. But I'm also working through it with my therapist. We're not reading it together.
Yeah.
But as I come to different portions of it, you got to digest it.
Yes.
So I'm still reading that. I definitely highly recommend it. It is very psychologist heavy. And there are parts of it that's a little woo-woo. A little woo-woo.
What is a woo-woo? That's a new word. Woo-woo?
You're a little delusional, I think, there.
Oh, okay.
I know I can go back in my memory, if I close my eyes and I think about the memory, but I don't know. He talks a little bit about closing the door on that person so that you can feel the other parts of Alanna. And I'm like, I don't see a door.
I don't see a door.
So, and everybody's their own.
Yeah, true.
I already, for me, it's hard for me to even think back to some memories because I'm really good at avoidance. Mm-hmm. Nobody's shocked by that. And so, even getting to those memories is really hard. And then feeling through those memories, that's not very comfortable. But it will be.
Yeah.
It'll get there. Mm-hmm. But it also, because the meatiness of the book, and anytime you're working through something in therapy, it's not what we tried to talk about this episode, but we're going to keep on talking. Anyway, anytime you're trying to work through therapy, I feel like it can also be a little bit more triggering, a little bit more weepy as things come up.
True.
Today, we had a little mentee B. That's called a mental breakdown. Mentee B. And
mental breakdown. Oh, MTB. Yeah, okay, got
Mentee, M-E-N-T-Y, space B. Mentee B. Mental breakdown.
Not Minty BD, because breakdown.
No. Breakdown's one word, I think. Anyway, it's called a mentee B.
It sounds really good.
It is what it's called.
You've never called me that before.
Anyway, no, you're not my mental breakdown.
No, no, I've never heard you say that phrase. It is very catchy, clever.
So
I
yes,
see that,
I've had a mentee B today, and it has a lot to do with that book. Just a lot of emotions that I've shoved down for years and years and years coming up. And my birthday's coming up on Monday, and stuff comes up with your birthday because that's how life goes.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah. I think that's also why I've been like, I'm not reading as much, because I can only handle emotionally, physically, psychologically so much. And I went,
okay.
Can't do it.
All right. So definitely understand that. As our lovely podcasters listen to us, listeners understand I don't read much. I can, but I don't. But I do like listen to a good podcast. I have been traveling the last few weeks for work, and I got a chance to finish some good podcasts. I'm a huge fan of Wondery. The Wondery app is really good, and had an awesome podcast. I don't even know what that is. It's a great podcast group, I guess, organization. Okay. Had a great podcast on the 1950 quiz show scandals, and how all the shows were fixed. Well, a lot of the shows were fixed.
No.
And then the FTC had to get involved. It was fascinating how they had whistleblowers, and it was just a really good listen. Really fascinating and kind of educational about how our game shows are today based on government rulings that they had in the 1950s and 60s. Like when TV was first getting big, people tuned into these shows. That sounds so interesting. It was very interesting. And they kind of saw to that it wasn't a physical crime, but they were saying like the public deserved to know if they were all tuning in and watching something that wasn't real.
It was like an ethical crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of deal.
But you've been listening to a podcast.
I have
recently.
So I love Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins is one of our favorites.
I've listened to her
she's really good.
A large number of times. But as we know, I love women's health, health in general,
yes,
wellness, you know, woo-woo. Just kidding. Mentee bees. I was just being silly.
We do love woo.
We do love the company woo. Anyway, you can Google that on your own time.
Why are you turning red?
Because my face. Stop. Stop it. Okay.
No, everybody's going to Google it. Do not.
Okay.
Don't use the word computer.
Do not
Don't use
Google
the word computer.
Children do not Google it.
Yes.
Anyway. Oh my gosh.
It's
I
woman.
can't even focus. Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
So
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, the woman that I was learning a lot from. Her name is Dr. Stacy Sims, and she is a female body expert in exercise and nutrition. And it's absolutely fascinating about how our body functions. And I am so much a root cause human being, and root issues. Tell me how my body functions because I'm a woman, and tell me what to do that is going to optimize it so that I feel my best. I care about what my weight is or is not, but what I care about the most is the longevity of my life.
Yeah, longevity.
And being able to, the roots, the run around with my kids, make sure I don't have osteoporosis in my late 50s into 60s, make sure that I have muscle mass to be able to carry around those bone structures and those kinds of things that we lose so quickly as we hit our 40s. Steven turned 40 this year. You know, those kinds of things. And she is absolutely phenomenal. And that I was been listening to that episode with Dr. Stacy Sims.
Yeah. Great episode. We can link that in our show notes. She's really good. We really like Mel Robbins and how she is able to articulate a lot of different things, but also a great episode, great podcast that you've been listening to. So she also has one on her diagnosis with ADHD, and I leaned on that a lot. Oh, Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. When I first got diagnosed with ADHD, because
she was diagnosed late
in life, and I was like, what is happening? I could not tangibly understand that.
Yeah.
And what it's also taught me is to also better understand some of the other things I have, like my dyslexia, which that's something that I talked about with my therapist this past week, is the better I can understand these things that I have, the more I can say, that's not true. Here's what's true about me.
Yeah.
So, see what I'm saying?
I see that. Definitely see that.
Right.
And last but not least, watching. We as a family finished Mufasa.
Yes. So good.
So good.
Moana 2. I watched it on the plane. You haven't seen the end of it.
I haven't seen the end of it. But Mufasa and the
White Lions?
The White Lions, the visual, just the whole dynamic of the movie.
Dude, they killed it.
I did not think you could go from Lion King, the cartoon. Lion King, the quote-unquote real one, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I did not think they could almost one-up themselves with Mufasa.
I
and
think
they
that's
did
the best second that I've seen.
Yes.
Other than, like, Toy Story did a killer job.
Yeah, Toy Story, yeah.
Okay, that doesn't count. That's to the side.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about, like...
Sequels.
And I guess it's technically a prequel, but a sequel to a classic.
Yes.
I'm very impressed.
But the thing about it is, people understand that original Lion King was like 90? Like a long time ago.
94? 94, 96?
But you're able to like drop that.
It's so good.
It's so good. And to have the backstory behind it. So yes, if you haven't seen it, check out Mufasa. Great show.
And it's on Disney Plus.
So Disney Plus, if you haven't.
94 was when it came out. How did I know that?
You're a 90s baby.
I know, but I was 4 years old. How would I know that Lion King came out?
Because you probably looked it up recently.
Did I pretend to be Simba? Yes.
I'm sure you
100%.
have. 100%.
Did I also hit my head while trying to pretend to be Simba and Nala? Also, yes.
Very true.
And then I couldn't see it. And then I hit my head again because I...
Did you cry when Mufasa died in the first Lion King?
100%.
Yeah, I cried too. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that was
and do I fast forward it now every time?
Yeah. Oh yeah, on the real one you can't watch
handle
it. You can't handle it.
I can't handle it.
But Mufasa has a pretty dramatic scene in it too in the beginning that you didn't see coming.
No, like the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole thing, I was like blankets up to my face. I get very like antsy.
Another thing that we were watching now also is Star Wars, the Skeleton Crew.
We ain't. Me and Briggs
and Adele are watching it.
I'm not about it.
We were watching, but you sit there and tolerate it though.
I don't understand
it. It's our first time. It's really good.
Okay, I'll try to get into it.
You should get into it.
Better.
And one more thing you've watched that you've kind of gave me
Whoa. Lincoln Lawyer.
We did finish Lincoln Lawyer.
We finished Lincoln Lawyer. Okay, and there's a couple Netflix movies that I just watched.
Well, I was going to say you've been watching Survival of the Thickest too, that you were obsessed with.
Whoa. Hold on.
Okay, so we watched
about
Lincoln
Survival
Lawyer.
of the Thickest.
Lincoln Lawyer was a watch through. Like, it was very easy to watch all the episodes.
Okay, super cute movie. The Dolce Villa.
That's super cute. That was a good one.
Dulce, actually. And The Life List was a really good one. The Life List was a really good one. But let's talk about Survival of the Thickest.
But first, the first part of that is what? Is the...
Of which?
The Wives Club. No one saw her having her own spinoff of it.
Right. First Wives Club. So there's an original First Wives Club with Diane Keaton.
Yes.
And it's fabulous.
Funny.
You don't know me. Bette Midler's in it.
Yes.
It's fabulous.
And they made a spinoff on Netflix.
And it's black women.
Yes.
I love it.
It's great.
It's hysterical. It's his 4 very close friends. Mm-hmm. And it is so funny. It's based in New York City. I loved it. Mm-hmm. And it's done. Well, then one of the girls had her own show. It's not a spinoff. It's not related to it at all. It's just her own show called Survival of the Thickest. And talk about body positivity.
Yeah.
It is all about body positivity, owning who you are. This woman like kind of comes into her own once she's single again and really learns how to stand on her own 2 feet. But it's beautiful. She walks away from some things because they're trying to make her make sure that they have skinnier people and and she's like, that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about everybody feeling comfortable in their body. Yes. And y'all, it's beautiful.
So you're watching that right now.
And I'm like, Adele, you want to watch this? She can't. Because so many bad words. But it would be, I need them to do like a YA version. Yeah. Like a young adult version, you know what I'm saying? Because whenever she comes of age, she's watching it. Because it's so empowering.
Yeah. No, I agree. And last thing that we watched as a couple that we're going to spin off of into this podcast, we love a good Hulu Investigates. And we watched the Ruby Franke show.
Oh my gosh.
And
I was stressed out the whole time.
Everybody has Googled it or heard
about it. I was
about
stressed out the whole time.
So if you are on social media, you've seen and probably heard of Ruby Franke. But the biggest question that everybody has from Ruby Franke is, why did the husband let it happen?
Right. Where was her husband?
What happened? So if you watch this episode, we're going to give you a tea. He was actually, we all think, brainwashed.
No, he even said it.
Brainwashed to not talk to his family, pick up a phone, text message, email for a full year and a half.
For a full year. There was no... year and a half. Year and a half. There was no restraining order, nothing. And nothing. He thought that if he did this...
He would get them all back.
He would get them all back.
Yes.
I'm like, first of all, you're Delulu.
It's like he didn't pick up a phone.
Yo, there's so much. You have to watch it because
it.
you better understand
what happened.
What happened, him, the son, the older daughter. You understand the whole dynamic and just how jacked up Ruby Franke is.
Yes, jacked up. And so it was a I would say a good watch because you got to learn so much. Hulu Investigates does a great job of breaking down things that you didn't see or hear about the actual stories. People are like, oh, Ruby Franke, she's been sentenced. We know about, like, you learn so much more
right.
about the whole thing.
It's not just about that her children were abused.
No.
Like, there's so much more meat and potatoes to that. Like,
and they have so much raw footage of her behind the scenes.
You're getting, like, the last bit of the green beans.
Yes.
If that's what you think.
Yes.
Like, you're missing the whole protein, like, all the bits.
Yes.
And you gotta get the full picture. It's so good. Now, it's gut-wrenching.
It's gut-wrenching.
It is gut-wrenching, but it will open your eyes. And if it doesn't, you don't have a soul.
Yeah, no soul. But that spawned into a discussion in the Mizell household that we want to bring to you. So as hopefully you are part of our village, listen to our podcast, you've seen the ebbs and flows of Stephen and Alanna, the beautiful journey of where we are today. And if you are that in tune, you have seen our ebbs and flows via social media.
Uh-huh.
You've seen the every morning videos from Stephen. You've seen Alanna with her years ago, her heyday of the Saint and all these things. Then you saw, like, where did they go? I mean, you still heard our podcast and everything.
Well, and then I was doing content creation for AutoZone.
For AutoZone, yes.
For a long time.
For a long time. And so she kind of pulled back. And so recently, we have had a full discussion in our house about the progress that Alanna has made in her health journey. If you don't know about it, check out our other episodes. She does a really good job of articulating it. But of late, one of her she's known her for a long time, one of her healthcare providers, who is awesome, might plug her later or not plug her, but she's really inspired Alanna to take another step and share some more via social media.
Yeah.
But we did talk about this as a family, me and Alanna, beforehand, before you started, because we wanted to make sure. So yesterday we had a really good conversation and we did a social media check-in.
Yeah.
And I said to you, how are you feeling about being back on social media?
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Alanna?
Yeah. So let me back up a little bit.
Yes.
When I actually posted a video about this 2 weeks ago, I don't know, at some point, back in 2020 timeframe, 2019, 2020, Stephen, I was on the internet so much. My kids were on the internet so much. And
I was about to say 2021, you really
our whole family. Yeah. So 2021, I really was like, I can't do this for work full time and then come home and do it full time. I was just like, I got to pick one. Mm-hmm. And so we have Time Hop and we kind of look back at pictures every once in a while when it comes up. And there was a photo that Steven sent to me and I looked sick.
Yes.
I looked sick. And I sent it to my MP, my holistic MP, and she was just like, this makes me sad.
Yes.
And honestly, it made me so sad.
Yes.
I looked like I was recovering from terminal illness.
You did.
When I was,
kids were laying on
because I
you.
had lost.
And also, you had like a green kind of shirt on, looked like a hospital blanket.
It just was not it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily social media that did it, but it was a catalyst for me into a spiral.
Yeah.
To a very significant spiral.
Yeah.
And losing a lot of weight very unhealthily and losing a lot of hair. And I had very deep set eyes because of it and rings around my eyes that most of the people that saw me on the internet never saw because I was teaching you how to do makeup. So you thought that I was just covering up dark circles. You weren't seeing all of the issues that were kind of coming with all of that. Mm-hmm. And then it was also during like filter season when these filters were just coming out and you could swipe and go to Paris so that it was nicely airbrushed and all those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So now looking back, I knew there was a problem in 2021 and I needed to step away from it. I didn't understand how bad it was.
And do you feel that the social media was a a Band-Aid, and so even your husband didn't see it, but you were able to put on a show and we missed everything else.
I'm really good at covering stuff up. Mm-hmm. I'm an Enneagram 3 for those that are Enneagram 3s. I'm a performer. I'm an achiever. I can cover anything up. I'm also fabulous at disassociating because that's one of my coping mechanisms with the mental health stuff that I've got. And so I'm really, really good at making it seem like everything is really great, but it's not. And so one of the things that my health journey has taught me is to stop being that way. Like point blank period. And I also think that social media over the last couple years has really transformed into a place of vulnerability for some people, and the ability to be open and how to do that is being practiced more. So I follow Kat Can Cook, Kathleen Ashmore, and I love her dearly. One of the things she does so well is she keeps some things close to her. And she says, I'm not ready to share that yet. She recently broke her leg, and it took her a couple of weeks to be able to share that story. And she has a subscriber page, and she's more vulnerable in the subscriber page than she is on her actual platform. And it's really taught me that it's okay to not overshare, but it's also okay to let some people in, and that not everybody is out to gain ahead of me.
And that's, I think, something that's also been very important is the fact that there's a fine line between oversharing to help versus oversharing to gain followers versus oversharing to gain sympathy for something that you know you should be doing.
Right.
Or whatnot. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen you and us really kind of talk through is the fact that before, I told her, I kind of have PTSD watching the Ruby Frank thing, seeing the husband and seeing her.
For sure.
The fact that you now pause before you record. You are genuine about, like, is this really going to bring value to, first of all, you, and then to your followers? But I think a lot of times in the past, it wasn't what we wanted.
No, it was content.
Yes. What do they want?
And that's what happened to Ruby.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Ruby. And she broke.
She did.
She shattered.
Yeah.
But the problem with her is that all of their life was built off of the money she was making on social media. And I'm not saying that I would have gotten there with my kids. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the breaking part. I can see how she broke. Because there were parts of me that were broken.
Because she didn't break until after they had a crazy run of getting tons of money, tons of publicity from that. And then one little thing happened, and she realized...
She started to lose it.
And she realized, I can't. And then she went
her
off
whole
the deep end.
family. And then she lost her mind. So, whereas I realized it was an issue, and I went back to full-time work, that was not the route that she chose to take. But there were definitely pieces of me that got lost when I was only content creating and when I was selling essentially my look and my appearance so that other people would buy the product.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't think that it would have been as bad if I was just testing makeup and telling people what I liked and didn't like. I think the problem for me was then converting it to sales dollars. And
also
driving that.
It's also we always say the dopamine hit you get from social media, but yours is almost a double dopamine hit because you got that, and then you also got some revenue from it. And so you're like, oh my goodness.
I was trying to be able to stay home with my kids.
Yeah.
So it was the perfect storm and perfect tornado going on. And now so we got off social media really, I didn't post for a very long time. And people would reach out like, what's going on? Are you okay? Because I kind of went from posting almost every day to like nothing. Crickets.
Yeah.
And not even stories.
And that's one thing that I'll pause that we did a really good job of. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people get on social media to tell people they're getting off social media. You realized you had a problem. We realized we had a problem, and we just took care of it. Like, you just went away. You didn't post like, Alanna's going away. If you need me, please. No, it's just like, I got to take care of business.
Well, and it's not like at that point I wasn't making revenue off of Instagram. It's one thing if you're scheduled, like you're a photographer or a wedding makeup artist. Like, I get that. Like, that's how you get. You don't want people to think I'm just ghosting you. That's not where I was in my life. It was, I'm really not selling Saint this way anymore, and I'm not healthy.
Yeah.
By any stretch. And so
I love the roar of a car. That was beautiful. Where's Briggs?
Do not. Yeah, where's Briggs? He would have opened the window. Anyway, so I think one of the biggest things that I've realized, I actually got off of all social media before I started back completely.
And I think another good thing is from a spouse standpoint, you have to let them feel and you have to let them make the decision. Alanna came to me numerous times, what do you think? Should I do it? And I would always let her talk through it with me, but ultimately it was her decision. I wasn't going to tell her, you need to get off social media. You are not doing right. She had to learn herself.
Well, and before I had my ADHD medication, which I'm on Cymbalta for anybody that was wondering, which is for both anxiety and depression and ADHD. It's a very unique medication. And so I also think I was using social media to tailspin down into dungeons, because that's what my ADHD does, is when I don't want to feel, I narrow in. So also being on that medication has helped me a ton to like come up for air and realize what's going on around me, to the point that it's actually hard for me to narrow in now, because I know it's happening.
Yeah.
Which, like, there's something that I actually need to narrow in, like with headphones on right now, and I'm like, I actually need time to do that because I can't shut off anymore.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But so right around that time, soonish after I got my ADHD diagnosis and started my medication, I was like, I got to get off. Like, I'm tunneling. This is getting crazy. And so I was off of social media for about a month and a half, like logged out.
Yeah, I think it was actually almost 2 months. Yeah.
It was a while.
Yeah.
Other than Pinterest, because Pinterest makes me happy. And from there, when I got back on, it was more of my MP just saying, you have so much knowledge and you've gone through so much in the last 5 years from your wellness journey. You really got to share it. And I got to this point, I prayed about it a lot. I actually talked to my therapist about it, just
Talk to me about it. We brought it up.
Talk to you about it. I was like, there are tons of pitfalls and I need my support system to be like, I see the pitfall happening. Come on back.
Yeah.
Come on back. Like, there's got to be an okay with turning it off.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me. And what and why I'm on there, as long as that stays clear and is the message that I'm sharing, that's got to stay that way. So I'm on there because I've gone through so much with my own health journey that I want to share that with other people. And I'm currently dealing with a lot of like body image things. And as I'm trying to deal with them, like putting shorts on, those are the things that I want to share, because I know I'm not the only person that has. And if I can save somebody 5 years of time because they saw me as a resource of somebody who's already been through it, then I want to do that. Yeah. And I know how much it's cost my family, both monetarily, physically, and emotionally, to go through this journey. And honestly, if I can help anybody not have to do one of those components, that's why I'm there. The second that my social media turns into something else, I'm out.
It turns into being back about you, or whatever you want to call it.
But even if it starts to get skewed into like sponsors and this and that about gaining followers, I'm not looking at my follower count. Don't care. I'm not looking at my views. I don't care. I'm looking at my messages if somebody reaches out to me. And what's really interesting is I've gotten to where I've retrained my algorithm to where, like, the Sephora sale just happened. I knew about it because I obviously am on Sephora, like, get the emails and things. But in years past, I would have gotten tons of Sephora, like, videos and things. And now I've retrained it. So I really didn't get many unless it's somebody that I know, love, and already follow.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It's interesting. And it is not an easy journey, because I have been watching from afar. I'm logged into social media, but not really active on it. But just this past week, we were going for a walk, and Alanna was like, hey, I want to, let people know that you're with me. And I was like, no. And she was like, I respect that. We're not going to do it. And
whoa. You're a little sassy about it at first, though.
But you still respected it, though.
You said, I'm not filming. That's what he said.
I didn't say it like that.
That's what he said.
It was something along those lines. But it was a conversation that we had. It's a conversation where we both were on the same page with each other, and we also...
Well, and you openly said, I just want to walk with you.
Yeah. And I held her hand. It was so sweet. I wooed her.
It was... This guy. It was cute, but it also... I don't think you before, like the social media content person before, you would have never said anything to me.
No, I wouldn't have.
You would have just been like, all right, we're filming.
She's
got to make money off of it.
She has to do whatever off of it. Yeah, no. And that's,
so I can't imagine these influencers that make their full-time income off of content.
And the families have to be involved. Like, we've chosen to pull our kids
They
off
don't
of
have to be involved.
But sometimes they are.
But when they do make them involved, and then it becomes a family thing, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like Ruby Frank, when she chose to include her kids.
Yes. And husband and the whole thing.
And, like, y'all, I see that spiral. I see how she got there.
Yeah.
Not abusing her children. There's no room for that. I'm saying I see how she broke.
Yes. And
it's very visual to me.
Very visual.
Yeah.
And so, all that to be said, we wanted to let you guys get an update of where we stand and where Alanna is. So, we will say, as you listen to our podcast, we're part of the Mizell Village. We appreciate that. But if you are on social media and you want to learn more about what the journey has been going for Alanna and all the people that have been helping her out, feel free to look at it. It's remarkable to see her growth. And one thing that she did not do, she did not delete all of her old stuff. And so you can scroll down and see how far she's come. And it's very...
You can see the dungeon I was in.
You can see the dungeon.
And how good I was at faking it.
Yep. And you can see where she is now.
You can see her come out.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
So if you guys are enjoying this, definitely leave us a review. Give us the feedback. If there's something you guys want us to talk about, reach out to us on our website at themizellshow.com. There is a contact section. You can put it in there. We would love to hear about it. Or you can always go over to Instagram at The Mizell Show. Also, as always, don't forget to screenshot this episode and just add it to your stories and tag us on Instagram, on Facebook at The Mizell Show. Thanks, guys. Are you loving The Mizell Show? Well, we love you all. And did you know that you can have me and Steven talk to your team or a group of 25 of your friends? All it takes is 25 people showing up on either a Zoom call, a Facebook Live, or really anywhere. Hopefully in person sooner rather than later. But how do you get us? So all you have to do is email themizellshow@gmail.com, or you can direct message us on Instagram at The Mizell Show.